Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum again. And following up from yesterday's video, we were looking at the potential that we had completed this fifth wave into this zone here. There is some other alternatives that we're going to be looking at shortly, but before we jump into that, I'd like to say thank you for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and why not leave us some feedback down in the comment section below. We really appreciate hearing from you guys, so yeah, just drop something down there. Okay, so let's get into the price action here. So there was a few things that we were looking at with this regard to this move, and there was the potential that we were still within a fourth wave, and I still don't trust this move to the upside entirely. I'll be more confident on it when we get a retracement down. Though, yeah, as long as we hold this low point here of this 1150 area, basically we could still be looking for this potential to move up in a wave two. So if I just I'll talk about something quickly before we jump on to looking to the upside. I am a little bit skeptical of this move because there's a way that we can count this all into here as a 1, 2, and this could technically be a 3, and we're still looking for a wave 4. So the fact that we have this move, there is quite a bit of overlap. We were looking at this as a triangle in here, and then a smaller 5-wave move to the downside. Though we also need to be aware that we could count this as an A, a B, and a C as an expanding flat. So we need to see what happens after this 5-wave move for more certainty. If we do start to break down and we do actually manage to take this low here at this 1150 zone, basically what I would then be looking at is the potential that we actually still have this fifth wave to come. If this is to play out, we'd look to target out this 1138 to this 111104 area. So that's just something we need to keep in the back of our minds here. If we start to develop impulsive structure to the downside and we look to break this low at 1150, then this would make more sense as a fourth wave and then looking for that fifth. Though until we break that zone, we can still look at potential upside. So if I switch this back over, now that we've gone over that downside potential, so we're talking about this in two ways, that either we look that we completed this B wave here, and we're looking to break down now. And effectively what we'd be looking at is forming a bigger 5-wave move to the downside, looking to move down towards this zone here, depending exactly how this forms. But this is off of that 0.618. If we do move up to the 0.618 line, then effectively typical third wave travel would be this 978 area. Moving down past that zone would then indicate that we'd have another fourth and a fifth wave, and we'd be looking to potentially target out these lows here between 955 and 919. There is also potential to have an extension within this wave, so we just need to monitor the substructure and we'll be able to get a better indication as time progresses. Okay, so within this move, basically, if I switch here to this breakout one, all we can see here is that we have the potential that this is actually a 5-wave move completed into these highs here. So this would be a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and then 5. So that could therefore be completed into that zone there, and we could be looking for a B wave retracement. So this B wave would typically come down lower. I just need to check this zone because I marked this out yesterday. I want to see if it's still okay. So this has changed slightly. So let's move this up. So what we'd be typically looking for here is a 0.5 to a 0.786 retracement area, and we can see from this fib retracement that 0.5 would take us towards the 1189 area, and the 786 area would be that 1167, with the 618 being this 1180 area. So it is possible this 50% could get retested. We can see it lines up quite nicely with this previous resistance here, so it's possible that we could be looking at this as a bigger A, a B, and a C to the downside. So if that's the case, let me remove this. We don't need this anymore. And what we'd be looking for then is the potential that what we have here is a to the downside. We're forming a B wave here, and we're going to look to break down again in a C wave. So we can see the waves currently look very corrective in nature, and what I'd be looking for here is the potential to travel up towards this 1-to-1 area. So the 1-to-1 area would be this 1225 zone. That's a typical area to travel, but it doesn't have to reach this 1-to-1. And we can see here, if I look on the 786 of this A wave, comes in quite nicely. If I just move this over, we'll see it better. Comes in quite nicely as a double top situation, so we'll need to just watch that. We could potentially get an A, B, and a C up into this zone and then look to face rejection and move to the downside. We can see the 1 hourly is starting to rise up quite heavily, and we'll see, yeah, the 4 hourly is still overbought, the 8 hourly is overbought, and the daily is starting to head to the upside. So our high time frames are indicating that we could be looking for some downside to come in, though these can sit in the overbought area for some time without moving down, or they might correct completely just in having this smaller wave to the downside that we're talking about. So we'll just have to monitor it. The fact the reason why I also am keeping this fourth wave in my mind is the fact that we could actually be looking at having a deeper correction to bring that 8 hourly and that 4 hourly down. Though there's nothing confirmed yet, so we just have to basically wait and see what these waves give us. Moving down into the support zone here and finding support would lead us to have the potential to move up in an A, B, and a C. And if I just move this, so let's mark this 1-to-1 here quickly, up into this high point. If we move back above this high point, it would slightly change this. So if I drop this right on there, so that would be that 1188 zone. What we could be looking for potentially is either an ABC or so a 1-to-1 of this first 5-wave move would bring us up to this 1271, and what that would be looking at is the potential that we have this as an A wave into this high. This all becomes a B wave, and then we're looking for a C wave to the upside. So this would be this would be like this would be effectively a zigzag pattern, and it would look to hit that retracement zone that we've been talking about. We've got this little bit of a zone of support and resistance where we've had a lot of consolidation above it and below it. So it is possible that we look to retest this zone and then either get rejected and move back to the downside, or potentially we might look to break above it and then look for the upward target. So the upward target that we're potentially looking for is this 1394, and that would be looking at this move here as a B, and a C to the downside for this X wave. So basically what this would be is an A, B, C looking to, so a 3, 3, 5, basically a flat correction, an irregular expanding flat correction. And what this would be looking for then is this would be the low point now, and then we would be looking for either a zigzag to the upside or a 5-wave move. If it's a 5-wave move, this would no longer be a WXY, but it would be a ABC. So the off of these current values that we're looking at, I have to adjust this slightly now, because if we only come down to this 1-to-1, it will adjust this impulsive trigger. So let me put it down there to that 1-to-1. So this would move this impulsive typical third wave travel area to this 1324, which would then bring our retracement back here. And what we'd be looking for here is the fact that we move up towards this zone here. If I just throw these markers on here, so this would be a move up towards, this is a typical 5th wave travel zone, so we'd have to see exactly how the waves develop, but we could potentially look to target out this zone up here of between 1360 to 1338 if we do get a bigger 5-wave move developing. So we can see here that there's not actually that far off of this target zone, so it is quite possible that we could see something like this. We will have to continue monitoring these moves and see what happens, but basically we could be looking at this move like this. It is also possible for us to have a much shorter B wave within this move, and maybe we don't go down as low as this, and maybe this has been a completed move, and then we're going to start to look to move to the upside here. Though until we break above this high point here of 1230, I am thinking we still got some downside to come, especially with the 1 hourly starting to rise up like it is. I think we've got a little bit left in the tank to form this B wave high, and then I'd be looking for that drop to the downside. If because it's a correction, it is possible for this to come up, break this high, and then drop back down in a 5 wave move as a flat correction. So the high holding is not as important, but we were looking at the potential of us moving up here into that zone and then breaking down. So we just need to be aware that there could be a little bit more downside before we look for this continuation. But if we do start to see impulsive moves to the downside, then we need to be aware that we could still be in a fourth. Though, as long as this 1150 area holds and we don't, if we start to move down below this 1167, then I'd start to get a bit more worried. But if we just retrace into this box area here, it's basically, it could just be just a regular B wave retracement or wave two. So that would be nothing to cause alarm. So yeah, that's basically what we got to keep an eye on. We need a bit more information. The market needs to show its hand a bit. We can only put the options on the screen as a roadmap, and then we have to see how the market reacts. Basically, breaking down could put us up for this upward momentum. If we break down into this zone of the support zone, basically we could look to this upside potentials. Though if we start to break down deeper past this 1167, I'd be starting to think that perhaps we're actually moving down a little bit lower to that 5 wave box area, which if I just throw this on here, I didn't mark it. I'll just pull this back up here, just so we get an idea again. Actually, so let's go off this low here. So between this 1132 and this 1100 or 1110 area, that could be a typical area we could look to. And if we're looking at this as a flat correction, that actually takes us quite nicely into that zone here of this 1122 and this 1098, which we were talking about a couple of videos back, which would be a typical C wave in an expanding flat. So we'll have to just see how this progresses, but that would be the target area should we start to break down. Okay, so I hope everyone found this video useful, and if you did and you haven't already, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and leave us some feedback in the comment section down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to BYBIT. This is a great exchange in our opinion. It's the one we use when we're doing our trading, whether that's spot trading, leverage trading, long in the market, short in the market. It really is a great exchange. It has great tools for helping you use good risk management. You can see all your, like if you set your trade up with your take profit, stop loss, it'll show you your liquidation, everything before your trade's even gone live. It really is a great exchange. Also in the description down below, you will find a link to Discord. Why not come join us? The general chat area is free. We can have a chat about crypto related things. Just add mention a member of the staff and we'll be happy to help you out with anything we can. Okay, with all that said and done, I hope everyone has a great day, and until we see each other in the next video, take care up, everybody.